welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for joining us again.
Of course. Happy to be here.
All right. So big news. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah.
The networks. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was fortunate enough to be on a Zoom call with you guys and talk a little bit of behind the scenes about it. So that was fun. And it was fun to be able to give input on it. So thank you for that. So for those who may have, this is the first time they're hearing about it, tell them what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, networks is basically a way for you to tell the whole story of your ancestors' lives. I think very often we get caught up, understandably, in the family connections. But if you think about your own life and how your life story really could not be told without also telling the story of your career and the people you worked with and your classmates and the people you went to school with and, the best man at your wedding and like all of those other people that are non-familial relationships in your life, most of us have been keeping track of that as a fan club in spreadsheets and notes and all the different places. The new feature at Ancestry allows you to, with Ancestry Networks, make sure you include all those people, have a place to gather all that information and the photos and the stories so that you can really tell that whole story.
So I got to see your announcement, I guess, in the grand ballroom or whatever that was. That was recorded, right?
It was.
So y'all have to see this because the story that you told, stories really, were just awesome. And it really helps, I think, the audience understand how to use networks. There are so many different ways to use it. I am dying to get back to it because that passenger list that we talked about before, there are more people in that passenger list. I want to add the whole passenger list to the network to see if there's any more family. The whole migration thing where people are migrating in groups, I suspect there was a lot more from that hometown that I haven't really discovered. And so I'm looking forward to using that for that.
Yay.
Anything else you want to share before? I have questions that I want to get to, but
yeah, so just the important thing to remember is that right now Networks has only been released to people who have Ancestry Pro tools. Eventually we'll open it up more broadly, but right now we just want that community of really passionate, really engaged users to get in and start using it and to help us inform how we continue to develop it. Because this is just phase one of what's possible. And we suspect that as people start to build different kinds of networks, that there will be some learnings for us about what tools will be the most important to include next as we continue to develop it out.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that some of the suggestions that I made happen because I think to be able to add a bunch of people with one click would be awesome. So not to ambush you.
No.
I promise you this is not an ambush video. I asked the community if they had any questions for Ancestry.
Yeah.
So since you're representing Ancestry, tag you're it.
Okay.
All right. And, obviously this is off the cuff. You've not seen these questions ahead of time. So you probably, might not know the answer to all of these. So you're forgiven in advance. Is there going to be a way, or could there be a way, or maybe you pass this on to Anne, that we be able to sort the facts column in the ancestors profile chronologically or by groups? You know what I'm saying? So right now, the census records in the source column in a profile, those are usually in chronological order. But then you might have a marriage certificate and you might have something else down.
Yeah.
Would there ever be a way that we might be able to sort that by
So that's an interesting,
chronology?
It's an interesting idea. And I'll tell you how it's sorted now so that you kind of understand the underlying logic. Right now, it's sorted alphabetically by database title.
Oh.
And so the censuses are always at the top in numerical order because alphabetically they come first, right?
Right.
And so the challenge is that those source citations are about the database. They are not about the individual record. And so we don't know how to put them in chronological order because it's just strictly based on that database title. So we would have to kind of re-architect some stuff to be able to do that. I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility, but that's just kind of why it is the way it is right now.
So some people have wanted to be able to manually sort them.
Sure.
Drag this into here, drag that down to there.
It's an interesting idea.
Just an idea.
I'll pass it on.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions for DNA matches when there is no response to, you're trying to connect with a DNA match? This particular person was saying, I have a DNA match that is not responding, and it is really key to breaking down a brick wall. Any ideas?
It's interesting. I hear this from people sometimes, and they're like, I just know this one match is going to solve my problem, or this one person with this private tree is going to solve my problem. But the thing is, if you don't know who that match is, or you don't know what's in that tree, how do you really know that? Right?
Well, if it's like it's coming back as a brother,
Sure. Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe it might
Yeah.
be really key, but
Yeah.
especially for adoptees, that
Sure.
might.
Yeah. And I understand that there's lots of sensitive situations. And when you have a high match that you don't know, that can be super frustrating. But when you get into those low matches, like I think sometimes we place more value on the unknown than we do on the known.
True.
And so one of the things that I often advise people to do is like make the effort to see if you can figure out who they are. I never contact a match until I already know who they are, because like I don't know what kind of response I'm going to get, and in many cases I get no response. And so if they've got an obscure username, do a Google search for that. If they've, got a name that's not terribly common, look for them on Facebook. Like there's lots of other ways to figure out who they are and start to build out their family tree. Now that said, Ancestry is constantly looking for ways to help people be more aware that they have messages. So the default for all new users, if an Ancestry message is sent, we send them an email to tell them they have an Ancestry message waiting for them. I think some people just don't care.
Yeah.
And I would rather they still took a DNA test so that I had that to work with than that they didn't take one at all.
Yeah.
Even as frustrating as it might be that they're completely unengaged.
Now, do you think the new networks might be an opportunity to cluster together DNA matches from the shared matches tool to kind of create a little network of people that you think are closely related? Again, if you're using the shared matches tool, that's a pro tool for the most part.
The enhanced shared matches.
Yeah. So that might be an opportunity.
Yeah, typically what I'm doing with that is just creating a custom group in my match list. I just usually am going to keep working right in that neighborhood. There is some interesting things with networks, though, that might entice people. So one of the things that we're starting to see already, and employees have only had access for a month, but we're already starting to see some really cool things, is when you've got pictures or stories or journals or letters, anything like that, we're starting to see people create these networks out of unrelated people. And right now, all those networks are private. But coming soon, you're going to be able to make the decision if you want that network to be public. And then everybody who's got any of those people in their tree is going to get a hint.
That was my last question.
And I'm really excited.
Yes.
I'm really excited about that. So just yesterday, literally just yesterday here at RootsTech, one of my coworkers was telling somebody that he had just started his first network. And his first network was to research the house he grew up in and who had owned it previous.
Oh, nice.
And he discovered that the man who sold it to his parents was a man by the name of Richard Smewen. And he was telling this to one of our colleagues, and they said, "Did you hear Crista talk earlier today? Smewen is the last name of her ancestor that came on the Amazon.
Oh, wow.
You need to go talk to her." Well, he came and talked to me, and we found out that the man that sold his parents the house he grew up in is the nephew of my ancestor that came on the Amazon.
That's the part of the story you guys got to watch on a Family Search, the RootsTech thing. It was What's New at Ancestry, where Crista tells this story. Fabulous. I have to ask, they're going to ask the chromosome tool. Is it ever going to happen?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. I knew that answer already, but I had to ask. All right. In search results, this woman was asking, is there a way when you created a search and you got a list of results, she wanted to know if there would be a way to sort by birth date. So I don't know if she was looking at birth records specifically, but to sort those matches in the results.
Yeah. So it gets
messy.
Yeah, there's some underlying technology that makes that a little tricky. As a searcher, what I usually do is I usually control all of my search data. So I'm using the exact filters. So if I just want to see births for a year or a range of years, I'll put that in and then mark that exact. And if I do that, it does sort them. So it'll say, if I searched for 1875 plus or minus 2 years, it'll show me all 1875 first, then it'll show me 1874, then it'll show me 1876, then it'll show so it'll go alternate around that range. And so it does group them together, but actually sorting is there's some underlying technology again that's a little tricky for that. Not impossible, just hasn't been a priority for us.
Okay.
We're too busy building networks.
All right, next question. Color coding branches in the tree.
I love that idea. Yeah, so I use Family Tree Maker, which has color coding, and I love it. And there have been talks about how we incorporate that into Ancestry. And it would be amazing if we could. Again, it's on a list that just, we always have to, with the resources we have, make decisions about priorities.
You could do a workaround where you use emoji colored dots or something, but that doesn't ripple up the tree like Family
Yeah,
Tree
like
Maker.
in Family Tree Maker, as soon as you add somebody to the tree, it automatically knows what color coding scheme you've set up and they get automatically color coded. Yeah, it's pretty slick.
Okay. The ability to attach a photo to a fact, for example, a church image to a baptismal record.
You can do that now. Yeah, so any fact in your timeline, if you open it up to edit it, over on the left-hand side, there's a media option. And so if you've uploaded that image to the gallery, you can attach it to that fact. You could attach that same image of the church. You do not have to upload it over and over. Upload it to your tree gallery once. You can attach it to as many people or facts in your tree as you would like.
There you go. Has Ancestry implemented any full-text search on all of your records?
Yeah.
Like you're seeing on some of the other platforms?
Sure. Yeah, no, it's an interesting question because AI is all the buzz. But Ancestry's been using AI for over a decade, just not the generative AI that most people are thinking about with like ChatGPT and Claude and all of that. So what Family Search is doing is really exciting. But, we've implemented similar technology for how we've read the newspapers and been able to index them and make them fully searchable as individual
What about
articles.
handwriting recognition?
We have done handwriting recognition.
I know we have with the
1950 census. We've done it with some of the French censuses. So we're using handwriting recognition to index a certain portion of our records now as well. But the actual, the way that Family Search has implemented full text search, we're not doing it in the same way. We're always trying to field records to make them searchable and hintable. And so that's kind of the differentiation there is the stuff that Family Search is doing is amazing. And I've used it as a genealogist. I love it. Yeah. But it's not hintable. There's no fielded data that says this record belongs to this person. And even when I do a search, I have to wade through so much information sometimes to find the right names in the right order in the right places, right? So I think we're just seeing the beginning of what's possible with full text search. And if you've paid attention to some of the presentations here at RootsTech, there's some exciting stuff coming. And Ancestry's paying close attention, and we are in collaboration with Family Search on a lot of this stuff. So
yeah, fabulous. Well, I'm sure it's not too far away when all records will have handwriting recognition.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. Hopefully soon. I think that's it. The only other question I had on the networks, and maybe you answered this and I missed it. You're saying that the networks will be shareable?
Eventually, yes.
Eventually.
Hopefully, I hope so soon, but we'll see.
Can other people see our new networks? They can't see my networks, can they?
Right now, all networks are private.
Private.
Even if your tree is public, your network is private.
I'm wondering if there might be a day that we might be able to invite a non-Ancestry member to come look at the network.
Yeah. I mean, just like right now, you can share your tree, and that person does not have to be an Ancestry subscriber. They do have to have an account, so they'll have to sign up with their email. You can share your tree. The plan is to be able to share networks in a similar fashion.
So if I have shared my tree with a family member, can they see my networks?
Not right now.
Okay. All right.
Coming soon.
Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I always enjoy talking to you.
Nice to have you.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody, I want to let you know that Genealogy TV has a special for RootsTech. It's running now through Sunday. So as soon as the weekend is over, all right, I might go to Monday, maybe. But anyway, if you use the promo code GTVA25 and the % symbol, then you can get 25% off the Academy. You can pick a monthly membership or an annual membership, but that's this weekend only. So I'll see you hopefully at the Academy. That would be at genealogytv.org. We'll see you there.